October, the SUNY Student Assembly held our annual fall conference. In our business meeting, with elected voting delegates from across the state, we approved a legislative agenda that for the first time in recent memory, and possibly the first time in SUNY's history, presented a united student front in support of our community colleges. Did you know that out of our 64 campuses in SUNY, 30 are community colleges? Did you know that out of the 467,000 students of SUNY, over half of them are community college students? Did you know that according to New York State law, community colleges are supposed to be funded up to 40% by the state? But since the creation of the law in the 1970s, that 40% has only been met once in 1975. The percentage of funding from the state has steadily decreased, and the cost to our students and families have continued to increase. At the same time, community colleges have seen sizable increase in students since the early 1990s. And since the recession of 2008, community colleges have seen enrollment increases in job retention programs, certificate programs, an influx on the non-traditional enrollment, re-entering higher education, veterans returning home from active duty, and traditional students looking for quality and affordable education. Community colleges have always been an important part of the accessible higher education system in New York. In today's world, they are becoming more and more critical to ensure that we have an educated, successful, and productive society. It is no longer enough to just maintain an even level of funding for these increasingly important institutions. If we want New York to emerge from this recession stronger and more competitive than it was in the years prior to this downturn, we must invest in the future of New York. We must invest in higher education, and we must invest in our community colleges.
That's right.
Woo. The passage of the legislative agenda, one that declared our #1 priority is greater state support for community colleges, was one of the most gratifying moments in my entire time in the Student Assembly. For the first time, I saw students who'd never attended a community college really understand how absolutely critical this funding is. For the first time, students from all around the state united around our critically important community colleges. I want to thank all of our delegates who made this possible. This elected SUNY students once again put the student voice on the right side of the issues and took a responsible stance. Amongst a slow economic recovery and rising everyday costs, students continue to struggle to pursue a degree in higher education. We know that a college degree, whether it's an associate's, a bachelor's degree, or even a graduate degree, has become the new high school diploma. We know that higher education is the key to greater success, but at the same time, we have seen an end to graduate tuition assistance program, slimmed down federal loan and grant programs, and decreased state-based financial aid. This year, we also saw student loan debt surpass the nation's credit card debt. States around the country are balancing their budget at the expense of access to higher education. It is exactly when 49 other states are reducing financial aid that New York should invest in its students. By encouraging bright New Yorkers to study and stay in New York, we will build a stronger future for the state.